Hey everybody, and welcome to this Wednesday's MBE Movie News, where I, John, of course, speak about some interesting little news stories coming out of the world of Hollywood and entertainment in general. As you've probably gathered if you've clicked on the link, I'm primarily going to be speaking about James Bond, No Time to Die on the show today. I say primarily, there is an array of topics in here, so I'll probably get onto quite a few, and they'll probably end up being clipped into individual videos at one point or another as well. But yes, the main story is all about James Bond No Time to Die and how its very early box office tracking is putting it on course to be the leading movie in terms of opening weekend performance in the entire Bond franchise. Now, this is coming from Screen Rant, and they are suggesting that, Box Office Pro are suggesting, the absolute kingpins of box office tracking in Hollywood, that this movie will be projected to earn between $75 to $100 million in its opening weekend. Over the first 3 days, of course, in the United States, it's its domestic performance over in the States. This would put it in the range of the all-time opening weekend record, which is currently held by James Bond Skyfall, sitting with $88.3 million over its 3-day cum. Now, I could see this happening, of course I could. Just the fact, for a number of factors, which I will get into, but primarily it is a culmination of all of Daniel Craig's work as 007. It's the end of an era. And look, say what you want about Daniel Craig, I actually really like the guy. I think he's a fantastic actor. I've seen him in so many great movies. No later than a couple of months ago as your man in Knives Out. He was really, really good in that. I enjoyed his southern drawl. I've seen him in so many different roles though, and I've really enjoyed his James Bond movies in the main. Can't say I've enjoyed all of them, but I'm not the biggest James Bond fan. I've admitted that many, many times before. I am no cinephile when it comes to James Bond and its array of different movies, the likes of Timothy Dalton and whatnot, I want to say. Just Roger Moore, and I've watched the Connery ones, I've watched the Pierce Brosnan ones, Brosnan ones I should say, not Brosnan, doing it again. And of course, Daniel Craig. But I think he's done a great job as 007. And the fact that this is his end of an era movie, fifth and final one, I think that will draw punters, be the regular plebingtons from the street who wouldn't otherwise watch this movie, or right up to avid James Bond fans. I think it will draw them into the theatres to watch this movie, and that will give it a nice little boost, a bounce at the box office, if you'd like. The other reason is, of course, that it's 2020 and it's not a great year for big tentpole blockbuster movies. We have not got a year like we had in 2019, where there was a huge amount and a hugely varied amount of amazing movies, from small little independent ones like Midsummer, Glass kicking the year off, to the likes of Endgame, Behemoth's Rise of Skywalker ending it. Also we had Spider-Man Far From Home, and just an array of other incredible event movies like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and who could forget Alita Battle Angel as well, that great Robert Rodriguez and James Cameron collaboration. That seemed to go under the radar for the rest of the year, seemed to be forgotten about fairly quickly. But I guess what I'm saying is that last year was a great year for cinema, lots of competition, pretty underwhelming box office performance in the summer for a lot of big hits, but as a year it seemed to perform really well. This year it's quite barren. We do have the likes of Dune and Tenet, we do have the likes of Disney's Mulan coming out, the New Mutants is finally coming out, and we have got Black Widow and obviously Wonder Woman 1984, but they are spaced out in such a way where it seems ripe for No Time to Die, just to slide into that spring period 3 weeks before Black Widow hits the theatres and just makes lots and lots of money. And of course, the way that the box office is set up for modern day blockbusters and event movies, you tend to find the bulk of the money is earned in the first week, maybe 15 days or so. That was I could have said 2 weeks here, I don't know why I didn't, but the first week to 10 days anyway, it seems to be that big blockbuster movies, we've seen it with the Rise of Skywalker, they come in, they earn the money, and then they have ever diminishing returns as the weeks chug along. That sounds like a very stupid and generalised statement to make, but you know what I mean. If you're a fan of film and you track box office numbers at all, you will grasp what I'm trying to say. Very front loaded, these modern day movies. This one could have legs though, of course, but it is going to have some competition, as I did say, with Mulan and whatnot coming out round about the same time. And who can write off a Disney live action remake? Because after the likes of obviously Dumbo not doing quite as well, but Aladdin, The Lion King, and just all those other great live action ones like Beauty and the Beast and whatnot, they have just performed out of the park with those movies. $1 billion grossing for the vast majority of them, so you can't write that off being a thorn in the flesh for good old Daniel Craig and whatnot. But listen, it does look very promising. I wouldn't be surprised to see this movie over here in the UK comfortably sitting in the upper echelons of the top 10, 15 movies here. Our all-time grossing over here is absolutely dominated by the likes of Star Wars and James Bond movies. So yeah, I wouldn't surprise me at all if it comes in comfortably in our top 10. But look, it's not all fun and games, it's not all rosy in the world of Daniel Craig, James Bond, and of course Kari Yoji Fukunaga, because this movie, despite having really good projections in terms of box office in the Western world, is being severely hamstrung by the ongoing issue of the coronavirus, or COVID virus 19 I think it's called, over in China. This one's coming in from Cinema Blend, and it has been confirmed that No Time to Die has already had its premiere cancelled over in China, including press appearances, and the film's release date is being pushed back indefinitely in China, of course, because of the issues which is happening. Now, of course, China is swiftly becoming a real powerhouse in terms of film and their consumption of it therein. I think it may already be the second biggest market behind the United States. So this is a colossal blow for No Time to Die. They are saying that, unlike Star Wars in this article, James Bond has went over very, very well with Chinese audiences, and this is a real blow to obviously Daniel Craig, Kari Yoji Fukunaga, and the movie. What is that goddamn producer's name? Broccoli, I think her name is. And look, I don't see any real clear road in the near future for China in this disease. I think this is going to be an ongoing thing for another number of months. So I don't know how this is going to play out, much like we spoke about, me and Stephen, on Monday with the Mulan box office perils lying ahead with that because of the issue with the coronavirus in China. I don't see how they get round it other than indefinitely cancelling or suspending the release of the movie over in China until things die down, and then just hoping that good word of mouth and hype maintains throughout that quietness of no releasing or releases in China, and that when it finally does hit, that people go out in their numbers and back the movie. I have no doubt in my mind that once China gets the all clear, and it will get the all clear, and my heart does go out to the people involved over there. It's an absolute tragedy what's happening. There's already over 1,500 people at least lost their lives. It's a real shame. Horrible to read about the number of people who are obviously suffering from it as well. And I'm here speaking about more menial first world problems like movies and whatnot not getting released, and it perhaps hampering the bottom line of a fairly big movie studio. It all feels rather irrelevant at this stage, but look, it's big news. I'm speaking about James Bond No Time to Die, and they are saying that it has indeed been pushed back, as indeed a number of other movies like Sonic the Hedgehog and whatnot. So yeah, it's not all roses with James Bond No Time to Die, but I'm sure it will make its money, and big, when it finally does come out over in China, certainly when it comes out over here. But look guys, I'm going to move on swiftly to the next topic on today's show, and this one is coming in from Empire, and it's all about Yahya Abdul-Mateen II talking about his role in the upcoming Matrix 4. He's been speaking with Empire, I should say, and he's been saying that, of course, it's the Matrix, man. It would be a shame if I don't have a chance to kick ass, get my ass kicked, dodge bullets, and do some cool shit. He says, I've seen the original film so many times, haven't we all? And you know I can be an actor and also step back and just be a real fan of the things I'm working on. I'm really excited. So look, I've seen behind the scenes snippets of this movie. I've seen obviously your man Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss zipping around in a city. I don't even know where it's been shot, on a motorbike. And Jesus Christ, they look eternally young. Keanu has that beard, and has a magnificent head of hair. And although I wasn't initially on board for this movie, and I still don't know if I am on board for this movie, because what is it? Is it a sequel? A quasi-sequel? A reboot? a prequel? Is it a fourth quel, or whatever they're calling it in this article? No one really knows yet. We still don't have definitive news on where Lana Wachowski is going with this one. She does say in this article, though, that her and her sister Lily have been harbouring long-held story and plot points about where to go next in this universe, where to take the story with these characters, of course, the likes of Neo and whatnot, for many, many years, a better part of 20 years. And so she's so excited to finally be working in tandem with Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, and another array of really incredible actors, the likes of Jada Pinkett Smith is coming back, Lambert Wilson's there, and we have a couple of really interesting actors coming in to join that already established cast. So whilst I'm still not sure what to make of this sequel, whether I even want it or not, I'm excited and emboldened by Yahya making Yahya, sorry, I'm saying the guy's name wrong, showing his excitement for being part of this, showing that he's fanboying, but also professional enough to get in and do his job. This is a man that I've really enjoyed. I really liked his role in Aquaman as Black Manta. I thought he was a really cool villain, probably the standout villain actually. I like Patrick Wilson, but his step-brother sort of character was, I don't know, painfully neutered. I never felt he was a real threat to, obviously, Aquaman, Arthur. So he, in a way, stepped in and did that role, took on that mantle as the villain. He was a really cool visual character, and he had a bit of backstory to him. And even though he had a fairly side role in that story, I thought he was really, really good. He's a great actor. He has appeared, just recently played in Watchmen. And I'm really excited to see what this guy is going to bring to the story. They are suggesting he could be, obviously, Morpheus, a younger version of Lawrence Fishburne. He was asked about that in the interview, and he refused to give out any information, and they never will. They are contractually obliged not to say anything in these things. I would say that he is perhaps playing a young Morpheus in this movie, and I'm going to be very intrigued to see how that's going to play in with the obviously aged but still youthful looking Keanu Reeves as Neo, and also Carrie-Anne Moss in this movie. How they're going to balance these older characters with a younger Morpheus, time will tell. I have not got much more to add to it, sadly, because it is, whilst a very interesting little read, there's not much more meat on the bones of that one particular little news article. So I'm going to move on to the next one on that note. I have a couple of more ones to go through which excite me very much so. None more so than this one though. It's all about Martin McDonaghy, of course, of In Bruges and Seven Psychopaths, and of course Three Billboards fame, confirming that he is now working on a new movie with Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson. He is going to be collaborating with them again. Of course, they three work together in the magnificent In Bruges. A really, really great movie. A really nuanced movie. Interesting to watch, with amazing character performances from Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson. Just this concept of a hitman being so conflicted and haunted by a botched assassination, and the other guy being good friends with him, being tasked with killing them off in Bruges in the midst of a holiday, and then realising his predicament and just becoming completely infused with the guy's plight, and not infused, that's the wrong word, but pitying his plight, I'll say, and having to now help this guy out that he was supposed to be killing. Ralph Fiennes comes in as the murderous antagonist. If you've not seen it, it's a really good movie. I digress, I'm not speaking about that one just now, but that's why I'm excited though, to see these three guys working together again, because I know what they are capable of when they get together and the magic happens. What excites me more though is the concept of this movie, and now the newly released name of the movie as well, The Banshees of Inisheer. Now this is going to be a movie set in Ireland, and it's going to be about two lifelong friends who find themselves in a sticky little situation, an impasse if you like. One of them abruptly ends the relationship, and it leads to alarming consequences for both of them. This will be shooting in the summer, and it will be produced by Searchlight Pictures, and indeed Film 4 will be financing it. So I don't think you can have a better studio coming in and putting their name beside this. This is a studio that gave us the likes of Jojo Rabbit and whatnot, and so many other amazing movies over the years. So I'm already excited about Martin McDonaghy working with Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell. You then align that with Searchlight Pictures coming in, and you align it with an Irish movie called The Banshees of Inisheer. And this concept of two friends, this could be another lighthouse we have here. A really stuffy, claustrophobic tale of madness and horror. If anyone at all knows anything about Banshees, you will know that they are an old Irish folklore, screaming, monstrous things, monsters if you'd like, who ear-piercing screeches bring out nothing but fear and absolute sinister undertones in any young kid who has frequented this side of the world. So if this has more than a mere superficial meaning, this title, if this is indeed going to be the heart and meat and bones of this story, the concept of these two guys splitting up and then having to be confronted with paranormal things in the vein of a banshee or whatnot, then good lord, we are in for a mighty fine time of it, because Seven Psychopaths was a stupendous movie as well, and we've already seen this guy can blend surrealism, dark comedy, and just flat out bizarre with amazing drama, and he can do it with absolute ease, and it feels natural in the story. So God, I've spoke the hind legs off it. I've probably not went very far, I've probably spoke in circles, but my God, am I excited for this movie. I just had to speak about it. There's not much going on just now. It's merely been announced that just today, in actual fact, that the actors are on board and that it's just got a title, which is of course Banshees of Inisheer. So I'm very, very excited for that one, guys. Are you excited for it? Maybe you can let me know down below. Have you seen In Bruges as well? Is it one of your favourite McDonaghy movies, or do you like the now much derided Three Billboards of Ebbing, Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri? Because I still love that movie, and I love Captain, what the hell was his name again? Sam Rockwell, anyway. Dixon, really loved his performance in that movie in particular, and of course he won an Oscar for it, so he was rightly recognised for that performance. But look, guys, I'm going to move on, because I'm speaking to the very next topic coming in from MovieWeb, and this one is not so exciting for me, not so intriguing. It's all about Disney's upcoming Planet of the Apes movie being a full-blown reboot. Now this really does disappoint me, because I was hoping that this could be a continuation of the Matt Reeves War of the Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes story. Of course, that story was pretty definitive. Caesar did die at the end of it. Andy Serkis put in a magnificent performance throughout that trilogy, but it left just enough legroom or breathing space for another continuation of the story with different characters, but a continuation which would have worked so well. I mean, who didn't like those Planet of the Apes movies? They were technical masterpieces with some really great performances from the likes of Jason Clarke and whatnot. I thoroughly enjoyed them. They surprised me. Even Tom Felton in that first one, really enjoyed him. That was one of his first sort of movies after Draco Malfoy. And being a big Harry Potter fan, that was something that I loved and get a great deal out of. So I'm so disappointed to see that they seem to be going down the route of making another Planet of the Apes franchise with no ties to this one, which was so successful. It seems to me that Disney have, since they've taken over the reins of Fox, it seems to me that they've almost deliberately cannibalised the original releases from Fox, so they could point to those movies and say, they're utter piles of shit. Fox don't know what they're doing. We're going to disband the Fox name from everything. We're going to take all of these movies that they had in the pipeline and get them to hell, and we'll just start doing original things, and we'll get our grubby little mitts or gloves, Mickey's gloves, in and about it and do our own thing with them. And I feel that's out of order. I thought they hung Dark Phoenix out to dry, even though it wasn't a great movie. They completely neutered that movie. That had no chance of success whatsoever. And then, I mean, you can make an argument for Jojo Rabbit being the yin to the yang of that, where that was pretty well promoted. But I would still suggest that was Fox Searchlight's independent production or promotion, which was to be thanked for that. I don't think Disney have went out their way to help any of the Fox movies, and now they're using it as a sort of stick, I digress, to beat over the head of Fox original movies with. And they seem to want to distance themselves from X-Men. They seem to want to distance themselves from the Planet of the Apes, even though it was hugely successful. And this is why we are now seeing, I think, an original reboot of the Planet of the Apes franchise, and I think that's a terrible idea. You just have to look at that Tim Burton movie from, I think, 2001, with obviously Mark Wahlberg, to see what happens when this franchise isn't handled well and it doesn't have the right personnel behind the camera. And look, I don't even want it. That's the truth, I just don't. I spoke about this before, I'm probably contradicting what I said before, but no, it's not long. There's not a long enough time between War for the Planet of the Apes and this potential reboot. I'm not for it at all. I would have gave it, I think I says this at the time when it broke that they were doing it, I would give this at least a decade before even remotely contemplating doing another Planet of the Apes movie. And yeah, this is just icing on the cake of the shit cake, if you'd like, for me. I don't really want to see them doing it, but if they were to do it, I would absolutely be on board for a continuation of the previous movies. And now that they're not doing that, and then Wes Ball as well, the Maze Runner movies, I've not seen them, but he seems so inexperienced a director to come in and tackle such an iconic franchise like this. If it's not in the right hands, it really could be an absolute shit show. Although Disney, in fairness to them, haven't really put a foot wrong in the main. But look guys, I shall move on to another interconnected topic all about Disney before I round up today's show. This one is another highly disappointing story for me, purely because I want to see some originality in film now. I mean, we've had so many live action remakes from Disney and I've liked them in the main, but I'm starting to get bored with it. I want to see them do something original. For God's sake, this is the company that gave us all these movies to begin with when they didn't exist. They were original. And here they are again, apparently developing another live action remake of an animated classic. This one is Rapunzel. This is coming in from MovieWeb and they are pondering the question, will it be Tangled? Now Tangled rings a bell to me, even though I don't think I have seen it, but then again I may have. And that it is a live action sort of spin-off tale of Rapunzel from the early 2000s, not live action, an animated spin-off. And they are saying that it could indeed be a Tangled live action remake that we're getting, and that would be even more preposterous than what we've had prior to this. At least they've gave 20 years of space between the likes of Aladdin and The Lion King. This is not even a decade old, this Tangled movie. And if they were to be remaking that would just be ripping the PI-double-S right out of the fan base, right out of originality in this company. But I suppose the movie did do very well. It's a surprise success. It sort of created a new spin-off TV show as well and various different things. And if Disney think they're going to make money out of something, then Lord knows they will get their fingers in there and try and make more money by giving us a slightly different incremental take on it. Would I want to see a Rapunzel movie? No. I have no interest in it whatsoever. The story's been done to the death. At least with The Lion King, you've got the epic of Jon Favreau come in and seeing if he can do what he did with the Jungle Book, take a technical masterpiece and maybe try and imbue some spirit into these live action animals. And I thought he did in the main. It was a slightly hollow experience, I can't deny it, but it was okay. I went to see it in the cinema opening weekend and it was fine. Aladdin is actually still my favourite of all of them. I didn't mind Beauty and the Beast, but I don't want to see this continuing ad nauseum, ad infinitum, just live action remake after live action remake. We're already getting one, I think, Lilo and Stitch going to Disney Plus. We had Lady and the Tramp hit Disney Plus for its premiere, and we have got other ones in the woodwork as well. I think, I can't recall which ones it are. See if I can find them. We have Bambi, Pinocchio, The Little Mermaid and Aladdin 2, and of course Cruella starring Emma Stone. So they're not ending anytime soon, sadly. But Rapunzel would be way down the list, way down the list of ones to be doing if it was up to me. Bambi would be intriguing. Pinocchio, no, we've had so many Pinocchio movies. The Little Mermaid could be intriguing. I actually really enjoyed that as a kid. I don't know if I want to admit it, but I did. And then Cruella, I think we've had so many Cruella movies, I think we could maybe lay that one to rest as well. But look, I digress, man. They're going to do what they want to do, and they'll probably make $1 billion doing it, so I'm some non-entity from Glasgow in the United Kingdom. They ain't going to listen to me. I'm a nobody. So, on that note, I'm going to round up speaking about it. What the hell did you guys make about that story? Do you want to see a Rapunzel live-action remake? Are you sick of the lack of originality that's emanating out of Disney? What's your thoughts on this Disney plan to reboot entirely the Planet of the Apes movies? No connection to Matt Reeves' universe, no connection to anything that's came before. What's your thoughts on Martin McDonagh's new movie and collaborating with Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson once again? The Banshees of Inisheer, does that fill you with excitement? Was I talking absolute shit when I says they were paranormal creatures that screech? Maybe you can tell me down below. What is your thoughts as well about Matrix 4 and this actor, obviously of Black Manta fame, Yahya Abdul-Mateen, being excited about it? And what is your thoughts about the combined No Time to Die stuff? If you've got anything to say at all, you can comment below and let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it, and you can subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying me giving a lot of shit away endlessly. And if you do, you will see me continue to give a shit away endlessly with Stephen tomorrow for another episode of MB Movie News.